The story of Leif and Jeanett, Part 5. We were finished looking at Norway's largest stone and made our way back to our cars at the parking lot next to the ice rink. This was a 5-minute walk. I couldn't believe how well our meeting went. I had hope, but no expectations, having come so far and having made such an effort in creating the tiles of Jeanett that I had in one hand left much of what happened when I met Jeanett up to Jeanett. But I had to be the one to initiate the contact because I was pursuing her. And this was so exciting, but created anxiety. I would learn that Jeanett recognized this, and over time I would find that she would have the ability to reward me if I ever crossed the line. She knew the difficulties that came with two people's feelings coming together. With a child, without a knowledge of who I was exactly, without a knowledge of my real intentions, which could not be determined by her until we met, put us in a situation that I had never been in, where I could only react and move forward based on her reactions to my pursuit of a friendship. She wasn't going to start pursuing me. I initiated the contact, and I don't play games to get attention. I knew she didn't know my exact intentions. How could I have known what would happen? I am an artist. Could she possibly have known my financial situation or willingness to move to Norway? How could she ever come to know these things about me in the brief time we had? I had to be delicate in reading Jeanett and understanding if she was interested in me. What I learned from this hike was that it was really nice to meet her and nothing went wrong, and now we were walking back to my car and I still hadn't given her my tiles. And I almost didn't want to mention them because everything went so well in meeting her. The situation created a lot of anxiety or uncertainty. What do you expect me to feel? Not knowing what will happen next in our friendship and not wanting to screw anything up? Worried that I would push the limits was always a great concern of mine. Remember, I had never pursued a woman in this way before. Living in a small town, you know everybody, and there is never an opportunity to slowly pursue a woman in a meaningful way like I had Jeanett. In one hand, I have to be the one to initiate everything at this early stage of our friendship, which means I am the person making the effort and taking the chances dependent on how the woman reacts. So far, after our 2 years of friendship, I had done everything right, and I had made the journey to Norway, and now I have actually met this woman, and it was amazing to meet her, but now we were about to say goodbye for the first time. Of course I was enjoying the moment, but you have to know how to make decisions quickly and know how to say the right thing in situations where you needed to be delicate, yet you also have to be the pursuer and the initiator of furthering this friendship. These decisions can only come through hints and feelings that I was given by Jeanett. I will tell you it's not easy to trust your instincts to move forward, and it creates anxiety. I had reached a point where I started to trust my instincts, and part of you cannot worry about what happens next. And you must have the mindset that if she doesn't respond perfectly, then oops, I didn't know. I'm just doing my best to read you, and you cannot worry about what you say wrong. You must trust the other person to understand you and understand the stress you're also under, given the nature of the beginnings of these relationships. And Jeanett must have known this about me. Meeting her this first time was essentially the moment when we discovered each other in a real emotional way, not through words on instant messenger and likes we made on each other's pictures. We reached our cars, and I cannot tell you how long this hike was. It could have been 15 to 30 minutes. The time did not matter. What mattered is how it made each other feel. Jeanett made me feel great, but now we had the hard part, the goodbye. What was going to happen? We stood at a location in the parking lot where we had to brake to go to our cars in different directions. So we stood there and began to talk, knowing that we were departing, not knowing what was going to happen next, and not having mentioned my tiles yet, but knowing that she had liked the tiles several times throughout the creation of them. She liked the tiles when I tagged her in the posts I made about the tiles, and I came all the way from the United States to give them to her, but we both knew that something was going on here that was more meaningful than these tiles, because neither of us mentioned them yet. Yet we were standing there about ready to say goodbye. My mind was reeling. Part of me also knew that she must be flattered by the tiles, but part of me also knew that there had been no reason to mention them because we were meeting each other and going on a hike, which I had never imagined happening. I didn't know what was going to happen, and it was driving me crazy. But part of me didn't care because I was there with her now, and for some reason, the tiles didn't matter. Since our hike went so well, we stood there in the parking lot and continued talking. Much of it was small talk, but it started to change as it came closer to saying goodbye. I asked her, "What do you do for work?" She told me she worked at a senior living home, and I could tell she was a little concerned about what I might think about that. And I thought that was great. I felt so happy she was comfortable telling me this. We never mentioned fishing the entire hike. It was around this time that she pointed up in the mountains and said that her mother lives up there. And she said that her mother has a washing machine. Jeanett knew there was no laundromat in Oda, but I didn't even know how long I was staying because I had not met Jeanett yet, and I still hadn't given her my tiles.